Today we're going to talk about intonation. I'm going to show you two important things about intonation. First, how to do it for yourself. Secondly, for those of you who know how to do it, I'm going to show you a way that you probably have never heard of before that you will probably find very interesting. So here's the first thing. Intonation is the relationship of the saddles to the strings so that your guitar can be in tune. So in this case, the guitar is actually tuned, whoa, way out of tune. Hopefully you can see the tuner there. So the string is now in tune, and this is assuming you've done the other aspects of setting up your guitar, meaning changing the strings and setting the action the way you like it by raising or lowering the saddles so that it plays without buzzing. So once you've done that, you want to adjust the intonation. Now the most common way you see people doing intonation is they play the string open, then they fret at the 12th fret, and you should get the same note, and then your guitar is intonated. If the note is too sharp, you need to move your saddle back using your screwdriver. If your note is too flat, you need to move your saddle forward using your screwdriver again until you get it right. So let's do the A string. Now intonation will change depending on the set of strings you use. If you change your strings, let's get the right note, A. So we are a little sharp. So we're a little sharp on the A string, and you always want to use good quality tools so you make sure you don't scratch your guitar. And I usually loosen the string for two reasons: so it doesn't kink the string, and number two, so the saddle moves more easily, and I usually push on the saddle. And I know it looks like I just eyeballed it, and I did. I have a good reason to suspect that my intonation saddle is going to end up pretty much in a diagonal line with my E and D string. So there's our A. And it is now in tune, and in tune but slightly flat at the 12th fret. So that's how you do intonation. Now here's the key thing that no one ever tells you that you've never heard about before. The problem with doing intonation at the 12th fret is if you use a chromatic tuner and play the 3rd fret on your A string, the note is sharp. There we go. I'm fretting it more carefully. So long ago I gave up doing intonation at the 12th fret because I never play full chords at the 12th fret, which is where you hear your intonation is out. I now do my intonation at the 3rd fret using a chromatic tuner. So looking at our A string again, get it in tune, and then very carefully fret at the 3rd fret, taking care not to put too much pressure, and I get a clean C note. Next string, the D, tune it up, check the 12th fret, it's D, now check the 3rd fret, and it is in tune. So if the guitar were sharp at the 3rd fret, I would work the saddle back further until it was dead on at the 3rd fret, and I would be okay if it were sharp, or sorry, flat at the 12th fret. So again, I'm ignoring the 12th fret. It's okay to be flat, and I'm making sure I'm nailing down the intonation at the 3rd fret. Once you do this, you will discover A, that you actually move your saddles back a little further, and B, your guitar across the whole fingerboard plays a lot more in tune all the time. So this is a fairly important thing. Again, if you do your intonation at the 3rd fret instead of the 12th fret, you will find your guitar plays in tune a lot better all the time. This is a Paul Reed Smith McCarty, and I often hear guys say they don't want to use this kind of guitar with the Paul Reed Smith wraparound because they can't get it to intonate. And I find the opposite scenario is true, that I find these kind of guitars intonate very well and play great. So there we are. I'm actually slightly flat at the 12th fret, but I'm bang on G at the 3rd fret. Once again, E, check at the 12th fret, it's E, check at the 3rd fret, and it is G. So there we go. So even this guitar with this weird zigzag bridge is easy to intonate. In the case of this guitar, if you're not getting your notes at the 12th fret or the 3rd fret, you simply adjust the little Allen screws that adjust the saddle back and forth. Okay, here's a third kind of guitar that people say they can't get to intonate, and that is the very traditional Telecasters with the 3 brass saddles. If you look very closely at these saddles, though, you will notice that I've actually taken a file to them and offset them, basically put an angle, taken the rounded saddle, put an angle one way and an angle the other way, so they ramp up to achieve the same idea as the Paul Reed Smith pre-made bridge, and that is that if you get the ramping angles, they don't even have to be that accurate. If you can get the saddles ramped a little bit, you will get the intonation you want. Helps if we turn on the volume. Once again, get E. There it is. Fret at the 12th fret. This one is flat, but if we fret at the 3rd fret, whoops, G will be bang on. C is on. So it looks like my intonation is flat if I go to the 12th fret, but if I go to the 3rd fret, again, I'm bang on. So once again, intonation is the adjustment of the saddle length to suit the string set, and traditionally it's done by fretting an open string and then comparing it to the 12th fret fretted note, and you can save yourself a ton of grief and realize that your guitar will actually intonate a lot better if you skip the 12th fret part of it and go straight to using a chromatic tuner and intonating the 3rd fret position on your guitar, and you will find that the whole guitar plays much better in tune. I'm going to give you a close-up of those saddles.